had to quit school, made me have to move back into my parents' house, made me lose my job, and it made me feel disgusting, ugly, and ruined my body, I thought. Gave me these scars, was making me do things that embarrassed the life out of me, took away who I was as a person, made me have to isolate myself, lose friends, accept this disease. I thought, yeah, right. How was I going to accept that? Do you accept your disease? That is what I'm talking about today. Acceptance. I thought that accepting it meant that I had to like it, that I was okay with it. And I didn't want to say that I was okay with this because I wasn't. How do you accept this disease? I just wanted to talk about acceptance and the fact that acceptance doesn't mean that you have to like it. Learning to accept your disease is different for everybody. It may happen quickly. It may take you a long time. It may never happen at all. Now, this is just me talking. It's me sharing my stories and my thoughts and opinions, but who says that they mean anything? In my own opinion, what I think is that life becomes a lot easier. Your situation, the circumstances and everything doesn't change, but the way you look at them does when you learn to accept your disease. I think that there is no one way, and I think that once you get there, you don't necessarily always stay there, because there have been times where I've been in a good place and I've been able to accept things, and then I start getting really sick again, or I wind up back in the hospital, something goes wrong, and I go backwards. So I think that this whole thing is just your own journey. Accepting this doesn't mean that you have to be happy with it. It doesn't mean that you like it or anything like that. You can still accept it and get upset at times and be mad about what you're going through. That's all fine and dandy. But if you ignore this, if you don't accept it, if you try to just, I don't know, it's just going to make your life so much harder. Because I had to learn accepting the disease is also accepting yourself, who you are, and the fact that you have this, and accepting your life. Like it's all one package. Here's what I think. IBD, or any chronic disease, because I know I have people who watch me that have different chronic illnesses. Like my friend Catherine. Hey girl. You have this illness, right? And it's chronic. There's no cure. It's not going away. That's like the biggest reason that I feel like you have to accept it, because you have it and it's not going anywhere. It's part of who you are now. It's there. Well, I can understand why people wouldn't accept this. I've been there. I think that it's just like your own journey. I had to learn that accepting my disease didn't mean that I have to like it. It doesn't mean that you have to like it. You don't have to say that this is great, I'm so glad that I have Crohn's disease, or I'm so glad I have ulcerative colitis. I think though that if you accept it, it just helps you open up a little bit, and that's kind of what happened to me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that happened for me. I didn't have this internet thing. I didn't have any friends with IBD. None. Zero. I never had met another person that I knew of. Actually, both me and my childhood best friend, we both had IBD growing up, and we didn't ever tell each other until we were older. I could have had a friend and we didn't know it, because that's how it was. You kept it a secret. When I had my surgeries, Facebook wasn't a thing. MySpace was cool back then, but there weren't all these Facebook support page groups, and there weren't a lot of bloggers out there. And I never went looking for help. I was so sick anyway. I don't think I opened my computer for an entire year. I was just dying. So it took me, after like going through some serious things and hitting rock bottom with this, to seek out on the internet what I could find. I found Camp. So I was like, cool, I can be a camp counselor, and it's going to be at a camp for kids who have this, and I can maybe help them. And that's what did it for me. It was me having to be in charge of teenagers who had this disease. And so I had to be strong, and I had to be a role model, and I had to tell my story and help these girls through it. And it felt empowering, and it felt good, and it felt good to talk to people. It just was a really good experience for me. And I left feeling so much better. You know, that was six years ago or so. And then I came back to camp the next year, and it got a little bit easier. And it just felt good. It felt like this outlet, this release, and to see other people in front of my eyes who had been through these things I felt the exact same thing. I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There are other people out there like me. And it just felt so good. And once I started speaking and telling my stories and just getting along with these people, it became easier. Started to accept it a little bit more. Then I think after the third or so year, that was when I started this blog. Video was what I did first. I just recorded a video and I told a teeny tiny bit of my story. It was the crappiest video ever. It's still on my blog. It's the very first post. I said a million times, and I didn't know how to edit videos back then, so I couldn't edit all my ums out, and I had to do it all in one take. So if I said something wrong, I didn't know how to edit videos, so it just had to all be there. I don't know, that's kind of my kind of story into how I grew into who I am and accepting my disease. You know, it's made me a stronger person. It's made me be able to come out of my shell and talk about this on YouTube for thousands of people to see. I want you guys to know that I'm not always strong. I may be a strong person, but I'm not always strong. And you know, when this camera shuts off, there's times where I'm angry and upset or frustrated, all sorts of things. It doesn't get easier sometimes. I mean, it has gotten easier for me. Just have to learn as I go, and I think that's part of it, is just you have to go through it. It is true that I accept my disease. That's totally true, but it doesn't mean that I like it. I think this is a gruesome, debilitating, devastating illness to have. I think it's one of the hardest out there to live with. I don't like the disease. I like the person that I am today. That's all I really wanted to say. This was just a video to talk. It wasn't a video to tell you, like, I don't have any tips to give you on how you can accept your own illness, because I think we're all different. I think everybody's story is different. You will get there, hopefully. I mean, part of it has to be you have to want to get there. I mean, if you don't want to, you won't. If you do, I'm here to help you. My channel is here to help you. All my videos. Yeah, okay. I have to stop recording this video because it's bad. It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, bye.